leader spot this weekend. They're heading to their 8th straight AFC Championship game. The Brady and Belichick duo has won 5 Super Bowls together, and if they win on Sunday, they'll go to their 9th Super Bowl. And yesterday, Bob Kraft gave the highest compliment he could possibly give to his quarterback and head coach. Let's hear what he had to say to the media.
Definitely the greatest player of all time, not just quarterback, in my opinion, because he's such a leader in the locker room.
What do you think Bill's legacy would be?
Oh, he's the GOAT of coaches, just like our quarterback is the GOAT of quarterbacks. I mean, and no one can dispute it. I don't think there's been a finer coach in the 99-year history of the league.
Shannon, do you agree with Robert Kraft?
I agree with Coach Mr. Kraft on some of it. Now, I like Mr. Kraft. He's really nice to me, Skip.
Okay.
He liked me. I like Mr. Kraft.
What
He's
a
always
sellout. Yeah.
Just rolling your eyes over here.
Skip. Look, I agree with Coach Belichick. The consistency. 8 straight AFC title games, 13 title games in 18 years. And Skip, free agency. He's made it almost impossible to do what they're doing. Then the Steelers stayed together. I mean, Skip, you get lucky and you draft Bradshaw and you get Mel Blount and Joe Green and you draft really well. There was no free agency, Skip.
Yep.
So if I offer you $20,000, guess what? Either you accept it or you go sell cars or insurance or sit on your couch. It's not like that anymore. Free agency has made it virtually impossible for you to keep some of your There's no way, Skip. They had 9 Hall of Famers on that one roster. So let's just say at the end of free agency, are they going to be able to keep Terry Bradshaw, Lynn Swann, John Starworth, Franco, Webster, Joe Green, Mel Blount, Lambert, Ham? Are they going to be able to keep all of them in free agency? Absolutely not. So, but what Coach Belichick was able to do to keep this thing together, coaches have come and gone. Offensive coordinators, he's had 3 or 4 of those. Defensive coordinators, he's had 2 or 3 of those. The one constant has been Coach Belichick and Tom Brady. Now, Coach Belichick does all the shopping. All of it. All the groceries. Everything you see on the menu is purchased by Bill Belichick.
You like the groceries now?
Well, no, wait a minute. I'm talking right now. I didn't ask you anything.
I'm just asking a question.
He buys the groceries, Jenny, and everything that you see that comes to the table, who prepared it?
Spoiled rotten.
No, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. There's no way a restaurant can get that kind of bad service and stay open. So he's doing something right. He's absolutely right, Skip. And look, not to discount, and it's hard when you critique, when you say this guy or who's this and who's that, sometimes people think you're taking a shot at someone else. We know what Coach Walsh was able to do. But George Seifert did win 2 more championships after Bill Walsh left. That's true. Now, you go to Coach Lombardi. Coach Lombardi was the offensive coordinator for the Giants when they won the title, I think, Skip, if I'm not mistaken, in '56. A lot of people don't know that he was an offensive coordinator at first. You know who the defensive coordinator was on that Giants team? You know.
It's way before my time.
It was not Tom
I'm
Landry.
not as old as you are.
It was Tom Landry.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And you know that.
That's right.
But what the success that he had with those 60 Packers, he only coached 9 seasons. I think he only coached 9 seasons in Green Bay, and they won 2 Super Bowls, and I think they won 3 NFL titles. So that's 5 titles in 9 years. That's exceptional. But again, there was no free agency going on. So for Coach Belichick, I would have to say he's the GOAT. For me, Skip, now when it comes down to quarterback, you know what? Remember, you heard it here first. I'm going to have to get the man is in his 8th AFC title game. Joe, I'm sorry.
You're giving it up?
Tom has put you over. You in the catbird seat.
Really?
You ain't in the driver's seat anymore.
Really? Are you trying to jinx Tom Brady?
No, I ain't trying to jinx
what's
him.
going on?
I ain't trying to jinx him.
Really?
I mean, it's unbelievable what he's been able to do.
Wow.
But for me, Skip, it's hard for me to put anybody in front of Lawrence Taylor and Jerry Rice. Because and for me...
Yeah, because he's saying not just quarterback, as Mr. Kraft.
Right,
he's saying player.
And Skip, you covered both guys, and you covered LT in his prime.
Did I?
LT made 2 positions famous. He made the linebacker famous because once he did what he did, LT was not only Defensive Rookie of the Year, he was also Defensive Player of the Year in his rookie season. And he's the only defensive player other than Alan Page to win the MVP, Skip. So he made everybody say, you know what? I need me an LT. So let me go get a Cornelius Bennett. Let me go get a Derek Thomas. Let me go get a Von Miller or Khalil Mack. But he also made the left tackle famous. So the Washington Redskins, they go get Joe Jacoby and Jim Lachey. The Minnesota Vikings go get Gary Zimmerman. The Rams go get Irv Eatman. Yep. If you did not have a left tackle, you could not beat the New York Football Giants.
Yep.
So for me, I go back and forth between Jerry and LT. But if you make me pick here today who's the greatest NFL player in the 99-year history, I'm going to say Lawrence Taylor. Forget Skip. Now, we know what he's done off the field.
I don't care.
But,
I don't care.
Okay.
Just keep it on.
Well, that's it.
I don't care.
I'm going LT.
Okay.
I'm going LT.
Okay.
I have nothing but awe for LT or for Jerry Rice, for that matter. But Tom Brady obviously plays a position that is far more valuable than rush linebacker or wide receiver. It just is. It's hard to fill it. It's hard to find it. And this one's played it for 19 years at the highest level. And that's why Robert Kraft, you can say he's not objective, but he just broke it down, because the one thing that I have tried to fight with you on is there's so much more to Tom Brady than just throwing the football.
Oh, I believe it. I believe he's a great leader.
He is a great leader, and Mr. Kraft broke it down, because he starts off with, for someone double his age of some of the players to be able to lead like that, connect like that, have the work ethic like that, and at the same time be so pleasant. And the great Troy Aikman said on Fox earlier this year that in all of his years of doing the Saturday evening sessions with the quarterbacks, that every time he's dealt with Tom Brady, he's just always in a good mood. And it's hard when you're playing that position as the face of the franchise, if not the face of the league, to always be upbeat in a good mood.
Because sometimes, Skip, you just want to go to your hotel, you want to go to your room, or you want to go hang out with family. Sometimes you have family in town, you just want to go with them. But he's always...
He's just the same. And as Mr. Kraft said, he's the same guy he was when I first met him, when he was walking off the practice field and Brady was coming in. I don't know why he's carrying a pizza box under his arm, but he said, Mr. Kraft, I'm Tom Brady, and I'm going to be the best decision you ever made as a 6th-round pick. Well, he just, well, that's about as arrogant or outrageous as you ever hear Tom Brady, and he said it to his owner.
Mr. Kraft might have said, I don't know, Tom. I mean, you've been great, Tommy, but I think purchasing this team might have been...
All right, so then Mr. Kraft continues to rave, and I know most people out there watching right now probably are about to vomit over these quotes, but Mr. Kraft says, Tom is such a genuine person. He's kind. He's polite to everyone. He's a very caring person. Trust me, that translates in the locker room. That's why our man James Harrison said he went in skeptical last year, and after a few days of watching him behind closed doors, he finally said, this guy's legit. He's 100% real.
Oh, I believe, Skip, that he's very easy to get along with. I think because you listen to the music that they play, you know, I follow Mike Reese, and he have the playlist that they be playing at practice. So, and Tom, like, okay, he gets into it too. So he's able to connect, because Tom doesn't have a whole lot in common with a lot of these guys, because like Mr. Kraft says, he's 41, some of these guys are 24, 25. Tom Brady was in the league when these guys weren't even thinking about the NFL.
That is correct.
So for him to, but the thing is that I think I like about Tom, and the thing that John Elway, my quarterback, was, no matter what, we could be shooting dice, we could be playing cards, and he would come in, what y'all doing? Okay, deal me in. Or hey, let me get in.
But you know what? John had this edge to him. He had jock mentality to him, because he was at heart. He's an athlete, man.
Yes, absolutely.
And he was a much better overall athlete than Tom is, so he considered himself one of the guys.
Yes.
Tom knows he's not as athletic as just about anybody in the whole locker room, right?
Right.
He just knows how to throw a football and play quarterback at the highest level, and he's going to be clutch. And that's my deciding factor here over LT or Jerry Rice. Do people lose sight? I think they just get sick and tired of Tom Brady, but I keep saying he's the clutchest performer we've ever seen in any sport. And you know how big a Michael Jordan fan I am? Tom's just had so many more chances to be clutch, and nearly every time he comes up, all-time clutch. What did he do? He led the game-winning drive against the St. Louis Rams in his first Super Bowl. Second Super Bowl, game-winning drive. I know these are field goal drives, but he led it. He marched him down the field to beat the Carolina Panthers. And then he led the game-winning drive with 2 minutes to go against Eli, and you know the rest of the story. But he did what he was supposed to do to put them ahead 14-10. And then we come to Seattle. That's the Legion of Boom. It's 124 yards passing in the fourth quarter and 2 touchdowns, and saved Belichick that day because Belichick couldn't stop Russell Wilson, right? Until you say the Pete Carroll stopped the Seahawks. Yes. But still, Brady was sensational that game. Then he digs Belichick out of a 28-3 hole against Atlanta in the Super Bowl by throwing for 246 in the fourth quarter and overtime. That's off the charts. Then at least he applied deodorant to the stinker that Belichick gave us in the Super Bowl last year, 41 points to Nick Foles, because Brady did for 505. Yep. That's the most yards ever thrown for in any playoff game in the history of the league, and it was by Tom Brady in a Super Bowl loss. But he hung 33 back on Philly.
But Skip, the thing is that players, and they watch a lot of players, but they really watch the quarterback because they want to see if he's authentic. Yeah. They want to see if he's in it with them. Or is he standalone? Yeah, I'm the quarterback. More people talk about me. So they watch that. And I'm sure the players in that locker room, they watch Tom, and they see that he's genuine. He's not standoffish. He doesn't think, well, I'm Tom Brady. You're a first-year player, or you're a scout team player. He treats everybody the same, and that's how John was. John was a guy, and like I said, Skip, I didn't play for 15 different teams or 10 different teams, so I can't tell you how these other quarterbacks were. But I'm telling you how John was and how it resonated throughout the locker room. And guys, the same way with Tom. The guys that run through a wall for Tom Brady because they know he would do the exact same thing for them. Now,
all right,
probably
so
wouldn't be able to
back
get
to
through
Coach.
it,
That's
fragile.
Back to Coach Belichick. What is Robert Kraft going to say when he gets asked?
Okay, what are you going to say about Brady? Oh, now he want to tell the truth.
That's so obvious to me.
This is so obvious.
Has Bill Belichick over the last 4 years lived up to the praise that you heap on him as the GOAT?
Hold on. Tom Brady won 2 Super Bowls in the last 4 years. Coach Belichick won 2 Super Bowls. So you can't have one without the other?
How good was the defense in those Super Bowls?
Good.
Yeah, it was like
28-3, and then let them score another point.
All right. So I love Bill Walsh. I knew him very well. I was very close to him. But to me, what he did, he handpicked Joe Montana. And again, Bill Belichick did not handpick Tom Brady to be the next quarterback. He did not.
Yeah, he did.
Dick Rabine was the guy who was raving.
Well, let me ask you a question. If Coach Walsh thought Joe Montana was so great, why not take him in the first round? Why wait till the third?
Because he didn't think anybody knew who Joe Montana was. He didn't think anybody was even remotely interested.
And Coach Belichick said, I'm going to stock my cupboards because I don't think y'all know who Brady is. Yeah. So he getting all this other stuff before he took. Yes, that's why he did.
So
I talked to him.
Bill Walsh invented an offense for Joe Montana. And then he handpicked every player on both sides of the ball, including loading a defense that was, to me, the best defense for about 7-8 years in a row in pro football, and it was a defense that he gifted to George Seifert, who then kept.
Oh, he handed him over a loaded roster.
Okay, so that's the greatest ever to me because he started from scratch. They go 2-14 and 6-10 the first 2 years, and then they just took the NFL over for a long time.
So if you don't mind me asking, who's picking the players in New England?
Go Belichick is.
So he picked Brady, right?
I don't know. I think somebody told him. Again, the story is that's the assistant coach, Dick Rabine, just raved about Brady because he scouted him.
Okay.
God rest his soul.
Well, trust me, Skip Bayless. I know Coach Walsh might have drafted all those players, but he couldn't scout them extensively. So somebody
did. He personally worked out Joe Montana.
Okay.
And Dwight Clark. Because he went to see Steve Fuller in Clemson, South Carolina. Yeah.
Well, this is what they do. Normally the scouts and the VP, they hand that thing over to Coach Belichick.
Hey, Bill Walsh was hands-on.
Hold on, Skip. When Coach Belichick goes to these workouts, who's working out them defensive players?
He does.
Who's holding the bag?
But he's all defense, and Tom Brady carried the offense.
No, Coach.
He's the coordinator.
Coach Belichick.
Yeah.
Coach,
really?
What did Tom Brady say? Tom Brady said, if Aaron Rodgers had this, have what I have, ain't no telling what he'd do.
No, did he?
Yeah, that's what he said.
Well, he always says the right thing.
You know, I know you, but I love how you go talk about Mr. Kraft is telling the truth when he's explaining that Tom Brady's the GOAT.
How can you not? He's like raving about him, but with Belichick, it's like, oh, well, he's the GOAT of coaches.
He's the GOAT. He's the GOAT of coaches in the 99-year history. How can you argue it? I'm not here to argue it.
I am.
I know you.
Yeah. I just hope Belichick has one good night on Sunday night. That's all. He better flash just an ounce of genius on Sunday night. Come up with some plan.
But what about your guy?
Huh?
What if your guy throw the pick that ends the game? What you gonna say?
Well, you just threw out the the most bizarre hypothetical in the history of hypotheticals.
Well,
if he does that, I'll come in here and say he lost the game.
Hold up, he threw the.
How many times have I had to do that?
He threw the pick. Hold on.
Yeah.
Who threw the pick in Indy?
Yeah.
In the AFC Championship game, who threw that pick to end the game?
Well, did it end the game?
Yeah, it ended the game.
Did.
Yep.
Well, he's up against Peyton Manning. He's pretty good, right?
Oh, so Patrick Mahomes some slow, huh?
Well, he's the first-year kid starter. So
And threw 52.
Yeah.
So can you imagine what he's going to be like moving forward?
Oh, let's see.
You know what Tom Brady is against first-year playoff starters? He's 10-0.
That is a good stat. I like that one.
How many of them been Pat Mahomes, Cal?
Well, none of them.
How many of them been Pat Mahomes, Cal?
Yeah.
It's a great matchup. Looking forward to it.
What was he against Mark Sanchez? What did he do against Mark Sanchez?
He lost to Mark Sanchez.
What?
He's lost
How you
the
lose
game.
the
Gonna
butt?
remind us of
Anybody
that
that
one?
lose the hold on.
That's the example you use.
Anybody that lose the butt fumble can't be GOAT.
That is
You
not
can't be GOAT
fair.
if you lose
So,
the butt
hold
fumble.
on just a second. All-time playoff wins, Tom Brady, 28. Second on the list is Joe Montana at 16. 28-16.
It's not even close.
That's
lost.
game over.
Joe
right?
Montana ain't never lost to a guy called butt fumble.
Okay.
I mean, think about it today. His name is Mark Butt Fumble Sanchez.
I thought you
you're
just
not
gave
helping
in.
him
You just admitted he's the
get
GOAT.
past
He
that.
got to go.
Okay.
Okay, a different GOAT, at least in Shannon's mind, is still missing. But did the Lakers prove they can win without LeBron? Well, last night they